If you want to be the best, you got to take out the best.
I don't want to be the best.
Get the hell out of here, man. I'm not fighting.
I could wreck you here and now. What fun would that be?
Jake Tyler has recently moved with his family to Orlando to support his younger brother Charlie in pursuing a potential tennis career. Back in Iowa, Jake had been a football star, but his short temper often got him into trouble.
What'd you say?
Just before the move, he got into a fight with a boy who mocked his late father. The anger Jake carries runs deep ever since his dad was killed in a drunk driving accident. On top of that, his relationship with his mother is falling apart, which leaves Jake emotionally isolated.
Don't do it because I'm not going to play.
Being the new kid at school doesn't help either. On his very first day, Jake witnesses a group of students beating up another boy. Trying to do the right thing, he steps in to help. But to his surprise, the victim lashes out and hits him instead. Confused and frustrated, Jake walks away as the fight continues. Later, he meets Baja Miller,
Like Mexico?
Like my parents.
a charming and flirtatious girl who immediately catches his attention. That evening during dinner, Jake's mother tries to ask about his first day at school, but their broken relationship makes it impossible to have a normal conversation. As usual, it ends in an argument. The next day, the same boy from the fight approaches Jake and introduces himself as Max Cooperman.
Happy as hell you moved.
How'd you know about that?
Max already knows Jake's background as a football player in Iowa, and he tells Jake that the entire school now knows him too, thanks to a video of his previous fight that has gone viral. Max explains the brawl Jake saw earlier wasn't random. It was actually an organized fight. While rambling about it, Max mentions that he himself is training in mixed martial arts under his master Gene Roqua. Jake, however, has no interest in learning to fight. Yet, just like that, with one viral video, Jake finds himself in the school spotlight, but not for the reasons he wants. He feels uncomfortable being known for something negative.
Want to ride?
I'm cool.
You sure?
Baja invites Jake to a party. With a small crush on her, Jake spends the whole day excited. That night, he goes to the party and runs into Max again, who introduces him to Ryan McCarthy. Like most parties, there's music, drinks, games, and dancing. But the highlight of the night is fight night, where anyone willing to fight gets their chance in the ring. Ryan challenges Jake to the main event.
We all saw that video, right?
Ryan taunts Jake by bringing up his Iowa football past, trying to provoke him, but Jake insists he doesn't want to fight.
I don't want to fight anyone.
When Ryan questions why he even came to the party, Jake glances toward Baja and realizes he's been set up,
Oh.
because Baja is actually Ryan's girlfriend. When Jake tries to leave, Ryan's friends block his way,
So none of that stuff is true then?
and Ryan takes things too far by mocking Jake's father's death. Jake snaps. He had promised himself he wouldn't fight, but at that moment, his anger overwhelms him and he agrees to face Ryan. Though Jake is a skilled athlete, Ryan dominates him. Every time Jake gets up, Ryan throws him back down. In the end, Jake is brutally knocked out. Fortunately, Max doesn't abandon him. He helps him home. But by the next morning, the entire school is buzzing about Jake's humiliating defeat. Later that day, Max shows up at Jake's house with a CD full of MMA techniques. While Jake has no interest in training, Max encourages him to meet his master, Gene Roqua. At first, Jake refuses and tells Max to leave, but as he holds the CD in his hand, he can't stop thinking about it. The very next day, Jake walks into Jean Roqua's 365 Combat Club. Max is thrilled to see him and introduces Jake to Jean.
So when can I start?
Tomorrow with Max, beginner's class.
Jean suggests he join the beginner's class, but Jake begs to be placed in the advanced group, claiming he's a fast learner. Jean decides to test him physically, and impressed by Jake's determination, finally allows him to join the advanced class. Before leaving, Jean lays down one strict rule: fighting outside the gym is forbidden. If Jake breaks that rule, he'll be thrown out immediately. That night, Baja comes to Jake to apologize for setting him up. She insists she never thought the fight would spiral out of control, but Jake, still angry, refuses to forgive her. Early the next morning, Jake shows up at the gym an hour before training. While paying his fee, he notices that John actually lives in the gym. During practice, John instructs him to add a round kick to his punches. Jake tries, but his kicks are weak. John teaches him how to breathe properly with each strike, demonstrating the technique himself. This marks the start of Jake's intense training. Meanwhile, Charlie begins his own tennis practice. One evening, Jake's mother discovers that he secretly took $200 from her bank account.
It's my money. What difference does it make?
When she looks into his gym bag and finds boxing gloves, she explodes in anger. Jake tries to explain, but she refuses to listen. Meanwhile, Baja confronts Ryan, scolding him for humiliating Jake, but Ryan shows no remorse. Baja realizes Ryan has become cruel, almost sadistic, and finally breaks up with him. Enraged and insecure, Ryan grabs her roughly. When Jake steps in, Baja tells him to stay out of it, but Ryan taunts him again, bringing up his father's death. The insult eats away at Jake all day, and his anger shows during training. John notices his lack of focus and sends him home to cool down.
People, you just hurt yourself and cool off. Tomorrow's another day.
As Jake leaves with Max, he sarcastically remarks that at least Max has a home to go to. Later, while driving, Jake loses his temper when a car behind them keeps honking. He jumps out and picks a fight with the drivers. Max records everything, and soon the video spreads online like wildfire. The next day, Baja tries to talk to Jake at the beach, but the conversation doesn't go well. Ryan sees them together and becomes irritated. Later, when Jake is alone in the restroom, Ryan confronts him and warns him to stay away from Baja. Though Ryan could easily beat him, he prefers an audience for his violence, so he challenges Jake to an underground fighting tournament known as the Beatdown.
Straight up.
Max explains that Beatdown is held once a month, and fighters only get the location at the last minute. Jake continues his gym training, but when John sees his bruised hands, he realizes Jake broke the no fighting rule.
Fight outside the gym and you're done.
Without hesitation, John kicks him out of the gym. When Jake gets home, he finds his mother yelling at Charlie for getting into a fight and coming back with a black eye. She also blames Jake for setting such a bad example. The argument escalates until she smashes a glass in anger. Charlie follows her lead and smashes a plate, but then admits he wasn't in a fight at all.
Sorry I lied, Mom.
He actually got hit by a ball during practice, but thought claiming he'd fought sounded cooler.
These are the days when I hate the world, because I know I can be all those little...
Since Jake is no longer welcome at the gym, he has no choice but to wait for Jean to come out. Finally, late at night, he spots Jean leaving the gym to buy groceries. Jake approaches Jean outside the gym and admits the truth.
Wanted to pound on the guy that was pounding on me.
He had always intended to fight outside. In fact, the only reason he joined the gym was to beat one guy at school. He then opens up about his past, confessing that he blames himself for his father's death, believing he could have stopped it. That guilt has been living inside him, slowly turning into anger. He knows he's let his family down by constantly getting into fights, but this time, he wants to set things right. He doesn't want to be angry anymore. Jake reveals that the only time he feels peace is when he's training inside the gym. His honesty touches Jean's heart, and finally, he allows Jake to return.
Be at the gym at 7.
Thank you.
From that moment on, Jean puts Jake through extreme training, pushing him beyond his limits. Through all of this, Max remains a loyal friend, always by Jake's side. Over time, Jake and Jean also grow closer. One day, Jake curiously asks why Jean lives inside the gym and why it's always open. Feeling comfortable enough to share, Jean reveals his painful past. He once had a younger brother, Joseph, a talented fighter. But after a bar fight, the man Joseph humiliated came back with a gun and shot him dead. Ever since, Jean has been living with the guilt of not being able to protect him, isolating himself inside the gym. As the days go on, Jean teaches Jake new techniques, like how to escape when pinned down, but always reminds him that in every fight, situations are different. It's up to Jake to find his own way. One day, Jake comes home to find a note from his mother saying she's at Charlie's tennis tournament. She had always urged him to attend, but he never went. This time, he shows up to cheer for his younger brother. Seeing Jake there fills both Charlie and their mother with happiness. She even admits she wants to fix things with her son. Later, Jake runs into Baja and admits that choosing to fight was his mistake. He also acknowledges how many times she tried to apologize, but he was too stubborn to listen. With both sides forgiving each other, they begin a new relationship. One evening, Jake's mother visits the 365 Combat Club to meet Jean. In front of her, Jean praises Jake, not just as a fighter, but as a changed young man. Hearing this, she has nothing negative to say. She even pays Jake's next month's fee and, before leaving, asks Jean to take care of him. At this point, everything seems to be falling into place. Jake's bond with his family is improving. He has a girlfriend, and he no longer feels the need to prove himself. So, when Max informs him that the beatdown tournament is happening the next day, Jake decides not to fight. Meanwhile, Ryan's life takes a darker turn. His father humiliates him in front of his friends.
All right, you can take a hint. It's all good. I'll see all you guys later, all right?
And when Ryan hears that Jake won't fight, he grows even more restless. With people around him starting to look down on him, Ryan decides to take action. He finds Max outside the gym and invites him over pretending it's harmless fun. Max, excited, agrees and goes along. At Ryan's house, Max tries to show off Gene's breathing technique, but the boys laugh at him. Then, Ryan tricks Max into sparring. At first, Max thinks it's friendly, but Ryan unleashes his full power, brutally beating him. Later, Ryan dumps Max, battered and broken, in front of Jake's apartment. Max is rushed to the hospital, and while Baja suggests calling the police, Max refuses. Enraged, Jake grabs his car keys and storms out. Baja follows, pleading with him not to fall into Ryan's trap. But Jake insists. He can't sit back while Ryan hurts the people he cares about. He has to end this once and for all. Jake heads toward the gym, where Gene sees him and asks what's wrong. When Jake explains, Gene warns him again. If he fights outside the gym, he'll be banned forever.
What I want? To never train with you again?
But Jake finally shares the night of his father's death. He admits he had every chance to stop his father from driving drunk, but chose to do nothing. That choice haunts him, and he knows now that sometimes doing nothing can be just as destructive as fighting. He turns the question back on Gene, asking if he wouldn't do anything to the man who killed his brother. The words hit him hard. With tears in his eyes, he admits he's lived with self-disgust for 7 years and hasn't had the courage to face his family. Jake points out that Gene has been running from his battle instead of fighting for forgiveness. With that, Jake decides he will fight Ryan no matter what. Gene gives him one final piece of advice. Control the outcome. You're the one who can steer the fight. Jake goes home, puts on his father's shirt, and heads to the beatdown. The underground event is crowded with spectators. The rules are simple. No eye gouging, no low blows, no biting. Matches end by knockout or tap out.
This is a no-holds-barred match.
Jake fights his way through the rounds, though one opponent injures his ribs badly. Despite the pain, Jake pushes forward, determined to finish what he started. In the meantime, Ryan uses dirty tactics, gouging another fighter's eye to win. But his misconduct is discovered, and he's disqualified. When Jake heard about Ryan's disqualification, he immediately tapped out of his own match. He never wanted the tournament glory. His goal was always to face Ryan. He leaves with Baja, but Ryan, furious and humiliated, follows him into the parking lot. Jake makes it clear that he wasn't chasing fame, and Ryan's anger boils over. The two finally clash outside, and as word spreads, everyone rushes to watch the fight. Ryan targets Jake's injured ribs, slamming him repeatedly and holding him in a chokehold. He's seconds away from losing consciousness. But then, remembering Gene's lessons, he finds a way to break free. Summoning everything he's learned, Jake unleashes his skills and finally knocks Ryan out cold. At the hospital, Max cheers from his bed, proud of his friend's victory. A few days later, life begins to settle. Max returns to school, and Jake and Ryan silently agree to stay out of each other's way. Gene, having faced his past, decides to leave for Brazil to finally reunite with his family. He closes down the 365 Combat Club, marking the end of one chapter and the beginning of new ones for everyone else. And with that, their story came to an end. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more exciting recaps.